We're going to start with OU football making a big splash in the transfer portal, pulling in defensive tackle Dominic Williams. Mason, I'm going to start with you with a pretty easy question that I've seen a lot of people on Twitter kind of contemplating. What was the bigger win for OU, getting David Stone or Dominic Williams?
Well, I think those two recruitments are both very significant in their own ways. I think at the time that David Stone committed, OU had kind of been down on their luck as it pertains to recruiting highly touted, five-star blue chip high school defensive tackles. They had already had his IMG teammate Jaden Jackson, but beside that, there had been a lot of consecutive losses in that regard piling up. And so I think David Stone was huge from that standpoint of showing that OU can land those big time prospects on the interior of the defensive line. But then the difference with Dominic Williams is it's it shortchanged, not shortchanged, but it finished off a narrative that OU was not willing to pay the big bucks in the portal to land a big time player. I mean, to get a guy the caliber of Dominic Williams, who's the best defensive tackle available in the portal, you had to play the NIL game. And so we may never know the numbers exactly, but I'm sure the figures in that recruitment were quite large. And I would say that to me, that's the more significant recruiting win because it's a win now move that silenced that narrative about OU's financial situation and its NIL situation that they were broke or that they didn't want to play the NIL game. Whereas David Stone is more of a futures thing. He's going to be, a really good player for OU at some point, and he has a chance to contribute this year, but he is not going to have as much of an immediate impact as the experienced Dominic Williams.
I exactly agree with Mason. There's great value in each recruiting victory for OU, although they're like equal but different, I guess. And Mason's so right. I mean, when's the last time OU? I mean, I would even say you got to go back to 15 years ago since OU signed, interior defensive guys of this caliber. But getting Stone is an important guy, obviously, because he's more of a conventional signing out of high school, although he was from IMG Academy. But he is an Oklahoma kid, right, from Del City, 20 minutes from the campus. So OU has typically gotten that guy, and they got David Stone, and he's a young guy with a great future. But I think there's more pop in the moment with the Williams because of what Mason said, because OU went into the NIL marketplace with heavy hitters like LSU and Alabama and Texas. And this kid goes on basically a world tour of college heavyweight campuses, and he chooses OU. And like Mason said, we don't know the numbers yet and may never. But I'm sure he is the most highly compensated NIL athlete in OU history to this point. So great. And plus, it's the position at which OU is going to an SEC where the other teams the other contending teams are loaded within the interior of the defense. And OU really, really needed to get bigger and better on the defensive line, and this is a great job to get two of these guys.